Thank you so much. We are here for Brain Date. We're going to talk about access to education, system transformation, and quality in education. That's the main theme. We have people from Pune, we have from Bangalore, and multiple languages, multiple roles, and of course, all of us as participants here. We're going to be having this conversation together. So part of the Brain Date is to have the conversation as a whole group. I'm Jayshree. I work with the Akanksha Foundation. And after many years of being in education, curriculum development, being a school principal, I moved to a role where now I'm working very closely with the government system, and we're looking at system transformation through multiple interventions. So that's very briefly about me. As we go along, I would request my panelists to request themselves. That would be really ideal. And as we start the topic, we want to start with our youngest panelist here. I will tell her name and I will introduce her. But before we get started, I just want to tell you all a very real life situation when we talk about access to education. Okay. This might be a surprise, as it was a surprise for us. In month of August, we were shared a data point by our commissioner, and there were around 628, that number, of students who were reflected as out-of-school children in the city. 628, around that number if I'm correct, out-of-school children in the city. So the city has many private schools. Ma'am will be able to tell you that number. It has 46 government schools. And in the population where there are schools literally, in less than kilometer and in the space, having so many children not enrolled in school was a big shock and a surprise. When we talk about access to education, when we talk about our ASER report, when we talk about we are not talking about right to education and bringing children to school anymore, that was a big shock. But fortunately, within 2 months, with all machinery acting very quickly, going door to door, going construction site to construction site in all the communities, we were able to bring the children back. Of those, around 400 children were tracked, and they were either had moved with their parents to another place, or they had gone to their villages. The remaining 200 plus children are now in the school, and they're coming regularly. Their teachers and HMs are working with them with whatever age group they are coming in with. Whatever learning gaps they have, they are trying to bridge those. But the children are coming regularly to the school. I think that is a big part of what we meant by access and making sure every child comes to school. Now, moving beyond that, what does really, education mean? What does quality education mean? So coming to that, I would like Siddhi. Siddhi studies in Puja Kasturba Gandhi English Medium School in Pune. And she's an 8th grader, and want to, ask her, what does she want to become when she grows up? And how is her school preparing for her future plans? Yes, Siddhi, thank you.
Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Siddhi, and today I am going to talk about what I want to be and how my school supports me, what I have to be and to achieve my goal. So, as I am good at science and I like to create things, so I want to be a software engineer. It's a hard goal, and I like to, I'm researching on it, but as my school helps me a lot, first thing, when I tell my school that I want to be a software engineer and it's hard, I don't know anything about software engineer, what happens, how to become a software engineer, what tests I have to give. So my school helped me a lot. First, my teachers, my friends told me everything, how to be a software engineer, how to clear the tests. The teachers coming from outside, they also had sessions with us that what we want to be and how to be that thing, what qualities we need. So my school helps me like this. And one more good thing about my school is that they give us the leadership qualities. Like um, we have a student council in our school. So our school purpose is that every student has to be a good leader. And how to be a good leader? Like I will give you one example. We had art mela in our school, and it one not one teacher helped us. They were just guiding us, and all the students were presenting art mela, and we welcomed other schools to come in. So connecting to the topic of my goal, uh, we have a committee like DLI, and I am a member of it. Means digital leader internship. In that committee, we have learned about coding and all these things. So how to develop my more strengths and my skills. So I have learned from it, and my teachers guided me. Thank you.
Wonderful. I am not going to synthesize or summarize what Siddhi said. Let's hold on to that. It would be really nice to hear from all of you first. What comes to your mind when Siddhi is talking about her school, or what comes to your mind when we talk about quality in education? Before we talk about system transformation, let's talk about what do we mean by quality in education. So we'd love to hear some of the thoughts from you all. Any one of you can get us started.
Starting with access to all the necessary infrastructure. Yeah. Starting with access to all necessary infrastructure for the children to, create that environment where they want to learn and come to school.
Just the environment for teachers to be so welcoming, to students to be able to voice themselves and say, I want to do this, I want to aspire to become something. I think.
So children's what they want to learn. So education, our schools, our institution, they will provide their needs, not our thoughts to fill their minds.
The school should be ready to welcome kids. So I listening words from her.
Teachers build a confidence to learn how and how to get it, and their dream to come to true. So these are all give confidence to the children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to now turn to our panelist here and ask the same question कि आपको आपके स्कूलों में quality education आपको कैसे दिखेगा? I'm going to have both Hindi and English. So everybody is okay with Hindi English, right? I wish I knew Kannada, but I don't know. So we'll do with that. तो आपके स्कूल में what do you see as quality learning for children? तो मैम आपसे शुरू करें. Any one of you can start.
I am Kavitha, CRP Chandrapuranikar Taluk. Quality education is that education which should lead to economic growth and emotional well-being of the students and personal development of the kids. According to me, this is the quality education.
Actually, defining quality of education is a very challenging. The definition itself is a dynamic one. We cannot actually, as the needs of the society changes, the definition also keeps changing. So, in my view, the quality of education means preparing the children for the life. Life means in whatever era we are living. When we were students, the life in which we were living, the school has to prepare us for the living. So, in this context, actually enabling the students to get acquainted with 21st century skills. So, that is the quality of learning.
So for me, okay.
Myself, Dr. H.B. Chandrashekhar. I am with Government of Karnataka and working as a senior lecturer, District Institute of Education and Training, Bangalore Urban.
So my name is Ritesh Agarwal, and I lead educational initiatives work in government schools. For me, quality education denotes three big pillars. I think one is the ability to be able to learn. Second is the love for learning. And third is the love for people, which is being compassionate for everything that exists around us. If we're able to inculcate these three different things, I think that for me is quality education.
I am Sangita Bangar, Administrative Officer as a DU post, Maharashtra State Government. I am working up in Pimpri-Chinchwad, and my view, quality education. Quality education is a sustainable development goal through the education, and the sustainable development of the child is not only the best education and other things, but a good human being is a sustainable development of this child. And for a good human being, we go through the education, not only the educations and the value education is the most important, I think. I think I go through the Hindi. My opinion is good human being is a एक पर्सन के लिए, एक आदमी के लिए only money and he got a more and more post and other things have is not a big deal. But as a good human, he relate other person with humanity, with kindness is more important.
Thank you so much. So, I think there is some alignment here in terms of, and I see a lot of connect with the student vision we have in Akanksha. And see, this is also part of the Akanksha school here. The student vision centers around three different things. One is mastery. Mastery has to be there, academic, non-academic, whatever children are choosing to work on. At the same time, there has to be agency, the student leadership, having a voice, being able to make decisions, being able to make decisions with discernment. So that is the leadership opportunity. Those are the leadership qualities, and then being able to decide in the situations and problem solving. And the third one is purpose, which ma'am said, all of them also alluded to, that it's going beyond yourself and what is the purpose, what can you change as a, whether we call it as a good human being, whether we call it as good values, whether we call it, citizenship, all of those components together. So I do resonate a lot with that, and when it comes to me, I think that student vision is very, very dear to me and very, very close to me. From that, now that alignment of, what quality education means for us as a whole group, and, as participants also we all shared, now comes to the point of where are we in our country or in our, surroundings around us. How do we feel about that? Are we there? Are we closer? Are we not there? What thoughts come to mind when we see the ecosystem around us before we even get to what can be done? Where is the, the fact check? How are we doing on that? Sir, would you like to start? Yes.
So we can see contrasting pictures in the field. Few schools are actually doing very well, and inside the school also there will be contrasting pictures. Few children are very well and few are very slow and moderate. So in a overall general sense, there is a lot of work needs to be done in this context. Actually, schools are most of the times they are disconnected with the society and also disconnected with the life itself. So how to make the connection with the child and how to make the connection with the society in which we are living. how to prepare the children for the life itself is a challenging thing. So in this aspect, given the situation that there is a curriculum is there, syllabus is there, and also teachers are there, and there are teaching needs to happen, tests need to be done, marks has to be given. In all these situation is there, but how we are going to prepare the children for the life itself, and are our children are equipped with those life skills? This is the biggest challenge. And also, in another way, foundational literacy and numeracy skills. This is also a challenging thing also there. As NEP rightly quoted, more than 5 crores children, more than 5 crores across the country are lagging behind in foundational literacy and numeracy skills. So given this situation, in one side we need to equip our children with foundational literacy and numeracy skills. And in another way also, how we cater to the diversified needs of the classroom or school. One child is bright, one child is medium, one child is slow, one child is very slow. So how can we take everybody together? So that is in this context, a lot of work needs to be done, and a lot of collaborations also needs to be made to help the teachers in such a way that teacher need to help the student and we need to help the teachers.
आज सर बात कर रहे थे कि बाहर का जो एटमॉस्फेयर है और स्कूल का, हम बच्चों को सिखाते हैं 21st लाइफ स्किल, लेकिन हम सब बच्चों को प्रोवाइड करते, उसके आगे कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं था, क्या सीखेगा वो? प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए उसको खुद को वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं क्रिएट कर सकेगा। अगर अच्छा, कल एक फिल्म दिखाई थी, उसमें अगर हम सिक्योर एटमॉस्फेयर में अगर कोई कई फूल या कुछ पनपने देंगे तो वो क्या होगा कि उसको जो डिफेंड करना सीखना चाहिए वो डिफेंड नहीं करता, वो डिफेंडिंग पावर उनमें नहीं आती। अगर वो स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए तो उसको खुद को डिफेंड करना चाहिए, उसके आगे प्रॉब्लम आनी चाहिए और वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए वो खुद को स्ट्रांग करेगा। लेकिन अगर हम देखें कि सर बोल रहे थे कि कंट्रोवर्सी दिख रही है, हम स्कूल में जो सिखा रहे और वो बच्चा बाहर के वातावरण में वो देख रहा है, वो दोनों सिचुएशन कंट्रोवर्सी है। हम स्कूल में सिखा रहे कि रोड सेफ्टी का रूल्स क्या होते हैं, और वो जब अपने वो स्टूडेंट अपने डैड के या पापा के बाइक पर होता है और वो पापा रेड सिग्नल आगे देखते हुए जब आगे चला जाएगा तो वो क्या सोचेगा, ये पापा करे यो सच है या सही है, या स्कूल में टीचर सिखा रहे वो सही है, उसके दिमाग में कन्फ्यूजन हो रहा है। और वो ये ICPD हम आगे के लिए दे रहे हैं क्या, ये कन्फ्यूजन माइंड, ये भी एक उसको 21st स्किल सिखाने हैं और वो खुद ही का कन्फ्यूजन में कि क्या सही है क्या गलत है। ये एजुकेशन सिस्टम में सिर्फ टीचर ही ओनली रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है। एजुकेशन सिस्टम में हम RT की बात करते हैं तो टीचर, पेरेंट और कम्युनिटी तीनों की जिम्मेदारी है कि बच्चों को आगे सिखाने के लिए अपना अपना रोल प्ले करें। तो मुझे लगता है कि सिर्फ टीचर ही नहीं, तीनों की साथ में चलना चाहिए।
So, जयश्री मैम ने पूछा कि रियलिटी चेक देना है, I come from an assessment and a technology organization. So let me just give you some facts which are there today, right? So हर 3 साल में एक एग्जाम होता है, PISA एग्जाम बोल के, और उस PISA एग्जाम में हम देखते हैं कि आर चिल्ड्रन रेडी फॉर द फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क और नॉट, which means this test is conducted for students roughly about the grade 10 and we see whether they're ready for the future of work or not. So India participated once and we came, what rank do you want to guess? Like, anyone wants to guess? Sir, of course. So sir is saying, so we came second last. Second last we came in that, basically which means that out of the 74 countries which participated, and 2 of our best states, Himachal Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, participated in it, and we came second last in it. So that is one reality. And PISA is not only for government schools, it's of a sample of students going to both private schools, government schools, and also out of school children. And this is very paradoxical, क्योंकि अगर आप US में जाओगे, बाहर जाओगे, तो you will keep seeing it also in social media कि विदेश के biggest 10 companies के CEOs कौन है? Indian. तो आप US में जाते हो और आप बोलते हो कि कि हमारा तो यहाँ पर education system खराब है, तो बोलते नहीं, हमारे तो 10 CEO तो Indian है. So this is one paradox, that at one level, the top 0.001% are achieving the maximum that can be achieved. But as a country, we are falling behind almost in the bottommost quartile in achievement on academic learning. So that's one reality. Second reality, which we hear slapped across our faces on a year-on-year basis by USSR, and what we find across in NAS, what we see in independent third-party assessments that we've been doing, that children are going inside this building called a school for 10 years, and on an average are only learning about 5 grades worth of content. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आप आज grade 9 या grade 10 में जाओगे, तो average में बच्चा grade 5 तक का ही सीख पा रहा है. और उसमें क्या हो रहा है? जो हमारे teachers हैं, they are struggling. Why are teachers struggling? Imagine if you are a teacher, you are going inside a classroom where there are 30-40 children, and the teacher now needs to complete the syllabus. Say in grade 9 needs to teach coordinate geometry, but half the children only know multiplication. And imagine how difficult it is both for the child and it is difficult for the teacher. And coupled with this, today 1 out of 2 children are going to government schools. So half the children today are facing an extremely high learning crisis, and which we as a country, and like ma'am rightly said, it's not the responsibility of the teachers alone. It's the responsibility of the teachers, the society, and the parents. So that the money which is being spent on it, which is the taxpayers' money, the time of the child, मान लीजिए 10 साल तक बच्चा स्कूल जा रहा है और खाली आधा सीख पा रहा है. So that's the reality check for me, which boils me in anger. But also I'm a hopeless romantic with the hope that कर भी पाएंगे हम ये.
Yes, when we boil with anger with all of these problems we see, whether we are second last in our PISA or there is no real life connection. बाहर कुछ और हो रहा है, class में कुछ और हो रहा है. We are talking about, teach children 21st century skill, problem solving, decision making. लेकिन decision making कुछ है ही नहीं school में. Teacher will have set things to teach. There is no connection to real life. We have, a lot of these polarization. There are like really small good pockets either of schools or people, and then there are large sections which are left unattended. All of this makes us feel it's a dire situation and we need to do something, but also can really bring our hopes down or make us feel really frustrated. And Siddhi wants to add something and I want to hear her. Yes, take it.
Didi, we have a solution for it and we use it in our school.
Siddhi, just hold on to that. Yes, we want to come to the solutions one by one. Just 1 second. I do want to hear from our participants though, that if they want to add to any of what our panelists have shared, and anything that you feel resonated with you, or anything you feel that you want to add to what the participants or panelists have shared. Would love to hear from. Yes, sir. So you can come here. There are seats here.
Thank you. I'm Paritosh Sehgal. I'm co-founder of Nav Sahyog Foundation. It's a Bangalore-based NGO, but our focus is entirely rural. So we work in 300 villages, work with children only in the age of 5 to 14 to develop life skills and creativity in them. So one of our observations has been that, and I'm sure that you all know it better, but the approach, we know that there is a huge shortage of teachers in the government schools. And on top of that, this problem is more highly accentuated when it comes to the rural schools, government schools, where there's only one teacher or at best 2 teachers trying to teach 5 classes, 6 classes. And it is just not possible for them just to even complete the curriculum. They're struggling for that. In addition, there is an added problem that many of the teachers in the villages, they are now moving to the urban areas, and they come from the nearby urban areas for their own children and family. So the whatever little connect that the teachers would have after the school hours with the children is also gone. So now when it comes to the development of life skills, the children in the villages are highly disadvantaged. And madam, I really appreciate you mentioning about the real focus of the education should be, of course, being good human beings. That's the first part. And the second is about livelihood. And what we are finding is that because of the lack of well-developed life skills in the village children, when they grow up, they take up very low-value jobs. And because of that, initially it seems to be okay, but when they get married, have children, they find that, the meager earnings cannot support their family. And that's when they get into a negative spiral, thinking they're not good for anything. They get into alcohol, violence, crime, corruption. So anyway, the point I was coming to really, of course, this is a longer thing, but coming to the real point, the approach that we normally take, at least I may be wrong, but please pardon me because my lack of knowledge about how the education system works. But whatever I have understood is that we do the training of the teachers, and the teachers in turn provide for the well-being of the children in terms of educating them, developing life skills, or whatever things that are there. But when you don't have the situation where the teachers don't have the ability in the rural schools, I think there is a need to think very innovatively about what are we doing for the rural children. Whereas, as per Education Ministry, nearly 70% of all school-going children in India are in the villages. So many of our solutions are all meant for the urban, and we retrofit it for the rural, but they don't work there. So we need to think about it. And one just suggestion I'm just submitting to you, that there is a very good concept in the West about community schooling. The community schooling, which I think now is at least getting familiar in the Indian context also, but it is a recognition of the fact that a school may not have all the necessary resources to provide the best outcome for the children. And therefore, there is a need to collaborate with the local community, to collaborate with the local NGOs to deliver the best outcome. So they collaborate and then, complement whatever is required for the school to do that. But here, it's such a big, difficult thing for, education department to think that anything outside the school being done is not education. And if you are not, having, you're an NGO, we do not know you, community is not being leveraged. So we have huge resources possible. NGOs want to do many good things, but they're being denied this thing. So that was just my submission to you.
Thank
but
you
I
so
fully
much, Paritesh, sir.
agree
Yes.
with what you
Yes,
say.
yes. Thank you so much, Paritesh, sir. I think to add to what we all discussed, I think the rural-urban context, so contextualizing solutions, at the same time looking at where the bigger gaps are. Is it just in terms of access, or is it in terms of in the quality or what gets delivered? I think many times when we talk about what needs to change in the classroom, we not having a teacher itself in the classroom, sometimes we kind of miss out and we jump to solutions. So thank you for bringing all of those back to the forum here. Now I want to turn to Siddhi, and she wanted to talk about solutions. So we want to hear now from each of our stakeholders and from their perspective and the core work they do. Kavitha ma'am works with the teachers. Sangita ma'am works with the schools, and she has teachers and headmasters with her. Chandrashekhar sir works with, being a diet, he's working with multiple organizations and also school systems, and Ritesh works on technology. So each one of them is going to bring solutions from their point of view for the stakeholders they work with, and then we'll come back to the participants again. Does that sound okay? Thank you. And please, as we listen, for all of them and from their perspective, if you have any suggestions, thoughts, or a question, we can now keep that in our mind, and we'll come back to after we finish listening to them as well. So Siddhi, yes, what do you think is a solution for how do we bring the quality in the schools that you want to see?
Didi, what happens in our school if there,
You can talk to everyone.
okay, for example, our class, some students are weak in studies and some students are high in studies. So we just participate in them in buckets, like green bucket, yellow bucket, and red bucket. So in that, we do a participation, and participate means we do parts of it. And whenever which teacher has a free class or have she has not class, so she comes to help our teachers to, and she shows humanity, like we divide them and we try to help them. Our teacher helps green bucket, then red bucket needs to answer them. And sometimes if the teachers are not free, we students help our partners, means which are in red bucket. So that helps our teacher also, and it increases, and we also get learned by it, because when we are teaching now, we are also learning. So
Thank you so Siddhi brought out really interesting point. We were talking about contextualizing and children in different learning levels. So they have peer learning, their teachers are helping. The teacher who is on a break comes and helps the other teacher. And so there are multiple things. We are seeing collaboration among students, collaboration among teachers. There is maximizing learning time, because you only have 5 hours in the school. Let's not waste any time for children. So there are many things. I think these are the few things that I'm picking on. Kavitha ma'am, you work very closely with teachers. Can you share your thoughts and experiences on this?
Speaking about quality education, I work with the teachers. Like 40 teachers work under me, with me. So the first thing I want to, as sir said, there is shortage of teachers. So to overcome this problem, I have peer teaching method in my cluster, and even student cabinets to help the teachers. And moreover, I have parent, teachers, and community partnership, so that they can enter the schools and help with the teachers. And speaking freedom to teach, this is one point I needed. Please don't ask, are you not free to teach? It's like very deep and vast. I don't want to answer that. But still, there should be freedom to teach for the teachers, so that they can engage, they can motivate themselves, they can inculcate good habits, and even their methods, teaching methods will be changed. And activity-based learning gives more importance in the education. Activity-based learning is that which prepares the child for the next level of their life. So I need that also. I go through that also. And one more, digital training. E-teach and also reteach. If they don't understand, they should e-teach. Go to the e-teach, this generation kids. And if they don't understand, government school kids doesn't understand in a first teaching. So we should reteach in our way. That is, formal education plays an important role in education, and which gives like quality education in the classroom, I believe. And inside the classroom, I give importance to two things. That is low TTT and high STT. Low TTT is teachers' talk time should be less in the classroom, and high STT is student talk time should be more in the classroom. I give this to importance. And even I have cluster resource groups, that is DRG groups and CRG groups. We discuss the pros and cons of the academics in that. And even I have a parents group where they can overcome a lot of problems. They can discuss in the classrooms. And that's all.
Of that, multiple things that I'm going to pick, that e-teach and reteach. It's really, really important.
As a leader, I not only go and observe the classes, even I take one class per day in one school.
Sounds good. And I know you said that I should not ask you, do we not have freedom to teach? But I'm going to ask you a related question to that. In your experience, when you're working with the teachers, have you seen any examples where teachers have exercised that freedom and you see certain, outstanding teaching methods or innovation? And also a little bit deeper in that, how have they made that possible?
I take my own example, ma'am. When I was a teacher, like I taught for 10 years before becoming a CRP. Like I never took the textbook. English, I'm an English teacher. I never took a textbook in my hand. I just researched. So how can I informally teach the kids? Through activities, based on activities. And even I have my own workbook from DSCRT. I have written for 7th standard. And even children love informal way of teaching through activities, ma'am. Not through the textbooks or homeworks like that. So informal way of teaching and more activities gives them access to learning.
So activity-based, informal way of teaching and, giving more, opportunities to students is what I hear. If I want to ask you one more question, why do you think, what is stopping for the other teachers from doing the same thing?
Maybe shortage of time, because they have a lot more work than teaching. Our sir is here. I don't want to go very deep. So we teachers not only teach, we work as laborers.
This is exactly brain dead concept. we discuss.
We not only teach, we work as laborers. Even sometimes we sweep our classrooms also. Even I have done that during this my CRP journey. We have lot of other than academic works, teachers have administrative works also in the classrooms and even outside the classrooms, and we go to offices. So we have lot more than teaching, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is due to shortage of teachers. We don't have any steno or clerk in our schools. We work as clerks.
Thank you. So this is where we are kind of, digging out all of those, because we see on the top, yes, the plant is not growing properly, and then we think of pani nahi hai, soil nahi hai, dhoop nahi hai, but there is something underneath that earth that we are now, taking out, which is really fantastic. Yes, ma'am.
Whatever we do, at the end of the day, we just reach the children, ma'am. When we go to sleep, we'll have a peaceful sleep so that we have helped the kids and we have done our part of work.
Thank you. Child at the center. संगीता मैम को मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ कि उनके पिंपरी चिंचवड म्यूनसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन में 1600 टीचर्स हैं, एंड टीचर्स को टीचिंग के अलावा या एचएम्स को टीचिंग के अलावा बहुत सारे काम होते हैं. मैम, क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि पिंपरी चिंचवड में आपने टीचर्स को टीचिंग में और उनकी क्वालिटी लर्निंग में इम्प्रूव करने के लिए किस तरह के सपोर्ट आपने दिए हैं, और आगे जाके आप और क्या लाना चाहते हो जिससे आप क्वालिटी जो आप चाहते हो वो देखने को मिले?
एज ए हेड ऑफ द एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट, मेरी कॉरपोरेशन एरिया में 1100 टीचर्स है, 16 ऑल कलेक्ट करके 1600 है. उनको हम अभी तक सर ने बताया लैक ऑफ टीचर्स है, लेकिन उसमें हमने एक सॉल्यूशन निकाला है. हमें कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल टीचर्स अपॉइंट किया है स्कूल में, और एक हमने जो नॉन टीचिंग वर्क होता है उसमें ऑनलाइन वर्क वगैरह बहुत सारे होते हैं, उसके लिए हमने डाटा ऑपरेटर भी हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव हमारे स्कूल में अपॉइंट किए हैं. बहुत सारी सुविधाएं हैं. हम गवर्नमेंट लोकल बॉडी स्कूल है लेकिन हम दे रहे हैं, और हम ये होते हुए भी हमने अभी सभी कंपोनेंट स्ट्रॉन्ग कैसे हो पिंपरी चिंचवड स्कूल में. एसएमसी भी स्ट्रॉन्ग होने के लिए हमने अगस्त में एसएमसी मेंबर सिलेक्शन के लिए एज ए इलेक्शन बेस्ड हमने इलेक्शन लेके वो एसएमसी मेंबर्स चूज़ किए. एसएमसी का हम हमारे कमिश्नर्स है वो खुद 1-to-1 उनको उनके साथ बात करते हैं, उनका रोल क्या है ये सब बताते हैं. और सभी आकांक्षा जयश्री मैम की आकांक्षा के हम हमारे साथ काम कर रही है. इसमें हम मेंटोर टीचर एक कंसेप्ट हमने दिल्ली के गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में वो चल रही है. वो कंसेप्ट लेके हम हमारे स्कूल में से अच्छे टीचर्स जो रोल मॉडल प्ले कर सकते हैं ऐसे टीचर्स को सिलेक्ट करते. 23 हमारे क्लस्टर मेंटोर टीचर है, वो जाके स्कूल में यानी स्कूल टीचर कैसे पढ़ाते हैं वो देखते हैं और मॉडल टीचिंग लेसन कैसा होना चाहिए ये उनको दिखाते हैं, उनकी कमियां नहीं निकालते, उनको अच्छा क्या है वो सिखाते। ये कंसेप्ट हमने पूरे साल में पिछले 25 ईयर में किया है। इसमें क्या हो रहा है और कि टीचर को मोटिवेशन मिल रहा है। अगर हम हमारे स्कूल में हम ऑलवेज देखते हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑफिसर आता है, तुम्हारा ए कम है, वो कमियाँ ही दिखाते, वो अच्छा क्या कर रहा है वो नहीं दिखाते। ये इस मॉडल से हम टीचर का अच्छा कुछ प्रैक्टिस, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस है वो हमारे ग्रुप में आता है। कमिश्नर सर देखते हैं, मैं देखती हूँ, उनको हम बकअप करते हैं कि अच्छा हो रहा है तुम्हारा। इंग्लिश में भी ऐसा ही चल रहा है। इंग्लिश का जो हमारा जो मॉडल है कि क्या होता है कि लोकल बॉडी स्कूल में इंग्लिश तो हमारे महाराष्ट्र में फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड से, लेकिन 10th स्टैंडर्ड तक ही बच्चा इंग्लिश में स्पीक नहीं कर सकता। इंग्लिश का वो लेवल एज ए 3rd स्टैंडर्ड लो रहता है। इसके लिए हमें फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड से ही उसका एज ए लैंग्वेज उसकी नॉलेज अच्छा रहा, इंग्लिश में बच्चे अच्छे होने के लिए वो काम करे। और सबसे अच्छा हमारा ये चल रहा है कि हमारे स्कूल के जो हेडमास्टर है वो उसकी हमने क्लस्टर मीटिंग रखते हैं। हमारे यहाँ क्लस्टर, हर क्लस्टर का है, जैसे CRC मैम बता रही थी, हमारा क्लस्टर मीटिंग होता है। उसमें से हमने 10-12 हेड जो है HM है उनको निकाला है और उनका मीटिंग अलग से लेते हैं, उनकी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस लेते हैं और हर महीने में एक क्लस्टर मीटिंग होती है। उसमें वो क्या क्या चल रहा है, तुम्हारे स्कूल में क्या चल रहा है, तुम्हें क्या प्रॉब्लम आती है, वो 10-12 लोग बैठते हैं और उनके प्रॉब्लम में क्या सॉल्यूशन निकल सकता है वो भी देखते हैं। इसलिए ये क्या होता है कि ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होता है, अच्छा भी बताते हैं और जो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है उसका भी सॉल्यूशन वो सब मिलकर निकालते हैं। ये सब हम हमारे स्कूल को स्ट्रेंथनिंग करने के लिए कर रहे हैं। ये सारा हम पिंपरी चिंचवड के महानगर पालिका के स्कूल में कर रहे हैं।
I hear the pride in her voice. So, building the culture, collaboration, bringing different stakeholders together, और उसके साथ साथ जहाँ पे पॉसिबल है गवर्नेंस स्ट्रेंथन करके जो गैप्स है उसको सबसे पहले फिल करने की। तो वन ऑफ द गैप्स इज देयर इज नो टीचर्स, सो व्हाट आर द इनोवेटिव वेज। कल जैसे राजन सर को इन हिज स्कूल इन बिहार one of the ways he bridged that gap was he brought community students to teach the children. So he received an award yesterday, and when I was talking to him in the morning, and it was fantastic that he has 800 students and he has only 13 teachers. But the way he's able to keep that quality up is by bringing in community teachers, students who have just graduated, still waiting for the jobs. And right now, whether it is 2 days, 5 days, 1 month, 2 months, till the students find the job, they are coming and teaching in the school. It's win-win situation. They're getting an opportunity. They are learning through the experience. Children are getting to learn from their youth leaders, and the school is improving quality, and the community is looking forward to that. So these are the win-win situations that we see where possible. And here in governance structure, what we are able to change, and if not, then bring the community. So I want to now turn to Chandrashekhar sir.
One thing I can say. हमने जो SMC के मेंबर चूज किए हैं उसमें बहुत सारे जो पेरेंट्स है वो इंथोसिस्टिक है। हमारा एक स्कूल का टोटल स्कॉलरशिप हमारा यहाँ होता है, वो एग्ज़ाम देनी पड़ती है, उसके बच्चों को स्कॉलरशिप मिलती है। वो पूरा साल का स्कॉलरशिप का जो ट्यूशन है वो हमारा SMC का मेंबर लेता है। और अदर्स थिंग्स भी बहुत सारे स्कूल में SMC के मेंबर आगे आते हैं। अगर टीचर स्कूल में टीचर कम है तो वहाँ अगर HM ने बुलाया कोई आकर हम बच्चों को संभाल सकते हैं, क्योंकि बहुत सारी ट्रेनिंग्स होती है, स्कूल से बाहर टीचर निकलते, तब उसी टाइम क्या होता है कि स्कूल में 5 क्लास है और 2 टीचर्स है, उस टाइम भी हमारे SMC के मेंबर्स आके वहाँ खड़े होते हैं कि उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए।
Thank you, ma'am. So, coming back to sir, diets play a very big role, work at a much larger scale. How can they and how are they contributing to this shift? So would love to hear from you.
Actually, I will take not only diets, I will take the overall picture of quality. So 2-3 things in my mind. One is we need to look, systems thinking we need to do when we talk about education is concerned. We have to try to look at the larger picture of in which schools are functioning right now. So always we look at a smaller picture, like, so when we want to address the schools issues and give some remedies to it, we need to look at the larger picture which is connected to like block level, district level and also state level. Whatever happens at the school level, it is because of the other levels in which they are playing, influencing the school's functioning as such. So actually it is lagging in all the sectors. So when we are actually addressing for example, if a car is actually not functioning, so we need to actually look at the whole, the engine as such, and then try to figure out what is happened, where the problem is there. Then the problem can be resolved. Second thing is we need to increase the spending on education. So in all the policies, in National Education Policy 86 and also even 2020 also advocated that 6% of GDP need to be spent. But we are actually not spending that much of amount. So education should be the priority one. Governments and also civil society and also all organizations, the focus should be on education. Third thing is we need to redefine the functioning of the schools, revision the functioning of the schools. As such, the schools are functioning in such a way that from century, if you are actually seeing, the whole world is changed. But school is not changed. Even seating arrangement, school will be like this only. Students will be sitting and teacher will be teaching. There will be not flexibility in the seating arrangement. Teacher is having answer. Students needs to get that answer. Teacher sets the aim. Students work towards the aims. So in such, teaching is happening, learning is not happening. So in this context, we need to redesign the school's functioning so that it's all in the perspective, change in perspective. So teachers needs to change their perspective. So to change the teacher's perspective, the department, the whole other functionaries need to change the perspective of the schools. So in this context, we need to work a lot, saying that the whole functioning of the, if I can tell a specific example, few days back, Nobel laureate Abhijit Mukherjee, I think, Abhijit, not Abhijit Singh, Abhijit, economist, is an economist. So he and other his friends, they did a research survey in Kolkata and Delhi. So they actually went to a market and then they catch a few children who are actually selling few things. And they asked a simple question. Like, for example, 1 kg of tomato is there, what 800 grams of it, how much it costs? And another vegetable, whatever it costs for 1 kg, what is the cost for 1.2 kg? Son, if I give 200 rupees, how much change you will give? So 95% of students, children who are actually selling veggies in the market, they answered correctly. The same question has been posed to the children who are actually studying in the schools. More than 30% of only 30% are able to answer. So where are we now? So whether actually the school is failed or, so what is happening in the school? So in this context, we need to actually look the school in a different way, the functioning of the school, the functioning of the teacher. I told teaching is happening, learning is not happening. Why means always teacher wants to teach. Learning is not happening since the novelty or innovation is not happening. The environment of learning is not there in the school. Teaching is happening. So in this context, we need to look at the larger picture. The budget towards education needs to be improved, and then the functioning of the school need to be completely changed. The perspectives, the trainings will not actually suffice. The deep reflection needs to be changed.
So from our lens at Educational Initiatives, of the work we've been doing for the past 2 decades, we see 2 different paradigms that's very, very important for us to make a systems change. So first I'll talk about what is assessments in general. So one of the big things that's challenging today is that whatever gets tested is whatever gets taught today, right? And one of the biggest challenges today we face in our Indian education system is the kind of questions that are asked in the board exams. So whether we like it or we don't like it, board exams are driving the teaching all the way from grade 5 onwards, which means teachers are teaching what the kind of teaching and the kind of learning which children are doing is almost geared up towards optimizing for marks in the board exams. And today, if you look at the kind of questions that are being asked in the board exams, most of them are straight from the textbook. What ends up happening in that is that ultimately we are promoting a very, very rote-driven learning culture, which kills the joy out of learning. That's number one. Number two, it's completely very, very not cognitively helpful for the child to rote as compared to learning to understand, learning to apply. So that's one big change that we are advocating for, that let's look at the way how we test children. And if that can improve, overall quality of teaching and learning will also improve. That's one paradigm that's important from our point of view. The second important paradigm is that teaching is a really, really hard job today, whether we like it or we don't like it, especially in our government schools. There are children who come from multiple different socioeconomic strata in some ways in terms of the way they learn. Second is they are of multiple different learning levels. At the same time, like ma'am said, there is a lot of both administrative as well as pedagogical challenges that teachers now need to solve for. Now, teachers are not one of a kind. There are teachers who join teaching because they love teaching. There are teachers who join teaching because they could not get any other job. That's the reality. Now, what is the role today that technology can play for that? Because like we feel that even if the person is well-intentioned, the teacher needs tools to be able to enable that learning. Now, just going back to my example, imagine, like sir was saying, we are working in almost with 5 lakh students with technology, including Pimpri Chinchwad with the MindSpark program. In Himachal, we are working with in a district in Shimla, in Shimla district, with almost 60% of the schools there. Now, most of the schools are very, very small schools, which means 30 children, grades 1 to 5, one teacher running the whole school. Now imagine how difficult it is for this teacher to be able to manage a multi-grade, multi-level classroom and also do the administrative work. So in that way, saying, can technology play a role to make the teacher a superhero? Now imagine today, like I'm sure all of you have seen some or the other variety of a superhero movie. So Bruce Wayne does not become Batman without technology. And Iron Man does not become a superhero without the technology. So we're saying that technology can be an enabler for the teacher to do a better job. Because today what the teacher is being asked to do in real practical terms is कि teacher को बोला जा रहा है कि आपके सामने एक 200 किलो का टेबल है, आप उठाओ. And I give this challenge to anybody in this room that just with intent, if you can lift up that table. So intent itself is not going to take us down the line. We need to provide access to a certain tool, a certain kind of breakthrough in budget, a certain kind of breakthrough in approaches towards teaching. Today, one of the other big challenges that we all face, that unlike the medical sciences, we've not seen major breakthroughs in educational sciences. 100 साल पहले तो medical sciences में कुछ भी हो रहा था. But today we are able to live longer. Today we are able to treat diseases faster. But today, can we say 10 years back the way we used to teach fractions, today we have a better grip on how do we teach fractions? Maybe not. So there's a lot more investment in research on learning. That's the third big enablement that we'll need to do. So that's Jayshree from our side what we think is going to lead to change.
Thank you. When I listen to all of these and the example, I mean, what Ritesh said was 200 kg table with intent, if I want to, lift, definitely will not happen. And that makes me think, then how do we really, there is a teacher shortage, we certainly nowhere close to 6% GDP being spent on education. The number of teachers we need for our system to reform, are there teachers there already? I mean, are there so many teachers who want to teach? There are a lot of complicated, components into this. How do we then make it happen in every school for every child in every space where the teacher is teaching? How do we really bring that, when there is a change in one classroom, that's also system transformation. When it happens in one school, happens in one corporation, yes. But if you want to have it across the entire, in a real sense for the whole country, because children who are 14, 15 years now, in the next 5 to 6 years, they are going to be job ready, and that is the future of the country that we are working towards. I'm not getting into the data, but that is very, very clearly in front of us. And we have Siddhis who want to become software engineers and they want to, be in different fields. How do we prepare them to be the people who are ready for the next? So that's my next question, and I want to actually open it up to everyone here to kind of put those ideas out and, kind of share what you think we should be looking at. Are we missing out on something really big to make the whole system change rather than just, pockets? Right now we are saying, okay, there's one, little pebble you throw and there will be ripple effect, and then the ripple effect will change. But there have been multiple ripples and we don't see, and at least I feel, that's my personal opinion, we don't see those ripples really causing big waves. We need big waves. How do we do that? And please pick up the mic and, anyone can, start. Siddhi, you understood the question? How do we make things happen in every school the way you see they are happening in your school? How do we see that? How do we see all schools become like your schools, for example? Please. By the way, I just want to let you know, none of the questions Siddhi actually answered were prepared for her. These were all extempore. So it's a very, very natural, saying when she's doing it.
All resources are there in the circumstance of in our schools area. क्या हो रहा है कि नॉलेज भरा पड़ा मतलब सभी जगह है, लेकिन बच्चों के पास नहीं आ रहा। टीचर को हम ये बात कर रहे हैं कि अभी सर ने माइंड स्पार्क हमारे साथ ही सर काम कर रहे हैं, इतने सारे हैं स्कूल में। अगर एक क्लास में देखें तो बच्चों को 10 बच्चे हैं, उनको एक अच्छी है म्हणजे लेवल है ABC। अगर इन्हें बकेट बताया था सिद्धि ने कि वैसी क्लास की सिचुएशन होती है, A ग्रेड में होता है, B ग्रेड में तो है, C ग्रेड में होता है। लेकिन अगर एक क्लास में टीचर तीनों को एक साथ नहीं पढ़ा सकते, तो इसलिए क्या होता है कि सिद्धि ने बताया जैसे पीयर लर्निंग होता है, लेकिन हम डिजिटल भी सर के जैसे कि अगर डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म बच्चों के लिए अवेलेबल कर दे तो उनको जो प्रॉब्लम है वो सॉल्व करते। अगर नहीं सॉल्व करते तो मैम ने बताया इससे रीलर्निंग या उसका सॉल्यूशन आता है, वो पढ़ता है और फिर से सॉल्व करता है, फिर से अगर नहीं आता फिर से सॉल्व करते हैं। रीलर्निंग होते बच्चों, वो जो कंसेप्ट है वो पूरी लर्न कर सकते हैं। एक क्या होता है कि अगर अच्छा स्पार्क वाला बच्चा है को उसके लिए हम ऐसा कंटेंट देते हैं, माइंड जो मिडल का बच्चा है उसको उसी तरह का कंटेंट दें, और जो लोअर है उसके लिए हम हैंड टू हैंड यानी टीचर खुद बैठकर उसके साथ काम करे, तो पूरा क्लास का डेवलपमेंट हो वो अच्छी तरह हो सकता है। जो प्रॉब्लम है कि क्या टेक्नोलॉजी का साथ लेके, पीयर लर्निंग का साथ लेके, और बच्चों को जो बच्चे खुद हेल्प चाहिए टीचर की एज ए मेंटोर, वो उसके साथ बैठ के अगर उसको पढ़ा सके, क्योंकि कुछ बच्चे हैं कि वो विदाउट फूडिंग वो नहीं कर सकते। ऐसी अगर हम सिचुएशन क्रिएट करें तो क्लास का जो एजुकेशन लेवल है वो बढ़ सकता है। ये अभी हमने सक्षम का प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस किया है PCMC में, वो वैसे ही 3 लेवल का है, लेकिन हमारा जो 3rd ग्रेड है उसके लिए हम माइंड स्पार्क का यूज़ कर सकते हैं। 2nd ग्रेड के लिए पीयर लर्निंग पीयर लर्निंग का भी कर सकते हैं. और जो बच्चों को टीचर की नीड है कि टीचर उनके साथ बैठ के अगर कर सकता है तो उनको वो जो उसकी जो कॉम्पिटिटिव कम है वो बढ़ाने के लिए ये टीचर का रोल वहाँ प्ले हो सकता है. ऐसे अगर हम सभी एजुकेशन सिस्टम के लिए देखें तो आई थिंक ये हमारा जो गुणवत्ता हम देख रहे वो आ सकते मुझे लगता है.
I don't know how to articulate this. We're talking about ShikshaGraha, a movement, and also for education equity. Putting it in a broader sense, how do we come to quality education? Can we do that by creating demand from the ground? Can communities come together to demand for quality education? Now, if we see few of the classes can send their children to the private schools. Few are struggling, making loans and sending it to affordable private schools. Is it really a good quality education that they are getting than the government schools? That is an unanswered question most of the time. There are cases where we have seen that even the private schools are doing not that great when we compare to few of the government schools. So bringing that equity into equity in education, also the quality of education. How do we create demand from the community so that required budget allocation from the government or the elected representatives, or that will lead to the research in education or getting the resources required for teachers, number of teachers, technology integration, all of these things. So is it healthy and is it okay to think to create demand from the communities within the school system? And yeah, that is what my question is.
I just want to add to that point about creating demand, right? I think, and very rightly, we're also working in Nagpur and we see a lot of demand for English medium education. But the way the demand is translated is that I will not enroll my child in government school, but I will enroll my child in a small private school that is right next to the government school. The government school has a really beautiful building, huge ground, midday meal, everything is there. Private school has none of that, but I still go there because my demand is English. So the way we are trying to cater to our demand, I mean the parents, is by looking for where do I get it rather than demanding and saying, this is the school where I want to make it happen. And I'm just quoting my personal example here. So my older daughter is now working, but she was in 12th and she was the one who put her foot down. She said, I'm not going for any tuitions. I said, how will you then prepare yourself for the competitive exam? She was preparing for UC. I said, I will just go to my teachers and tell them that I'm not going for any tuitions. I don't want to, have my schedule where I'm going to college, this is junior college, and then go to tuitions. I will sit with my teachers and tell them, teach me, I have not understood. And this is what the two girls did, and I think they were completely the only two girls in the entire college who sat with the teachers after their classes say, we did not understand this concept, can you teach them? And those teachers were the happiest teachers I have seen, and they've thanked us so many times that, your child has made us feel that we are really something. I think if we can create that demand from the society and saying that I'm not looking for alternative solutions, but I'm looking for this to change, that probably is one of those things. And I'm saying this with so much passion here because I think this aha moment is coming only now when you said that creating demand. Thank you for that. Someone else has picked up the mic here at the back. Yeah.
So,
sure. Should we take that answer first and then come, or you want to ask your question? Why don't you ask your question also?
I'm not questioning, just I thought that.
Sure. So, would any one of you want to take that question? How do we create that? Yeah, please, yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I think, this private school, government school is an interesting debate to see because like you mentioned, ma'am mentioned as well, I personally feel there are about 30-40% of these private schools which have every disadvantage of a government school and no advantages of a government school as well. But parents are sending kids to these affordable private schools, so-called, right? Now, I don't know how much of the stat is correct, but somewhere I read that in India, about 30% of disposable income is spent on education. 30% of disposable income is pretty high in any form possible, and that's because of a loss of trust that government schools can function or not. Now, of course, you've got excellent examples from Akansha schools. We've seen it in multiple places in Delhi, in multiple municipalities. We see now places like Jharkhand are doing these CM Rai schools, many places where they've understood that if the faith of the public goes away from government schools, then basically we are completely doomed. And at the same time, for all the reasons we discussed, reforming education is not so easy. So, of course, one of these challenges is being solved through this excellent schools that are there. And it can happen. And there are reasons to believe it can happen. So, if you today look at KGBVs, you today look at Navodayas, they are still very, very highly subscribed. In the sense, getting into a KGBV today in Jharkhand is extremely difficult. Getting into a Navodaya is still also very extremely difficult because of the perception of the public that there is some good high quality and benefits which are there. So I think the only answer to this question is that we just need to keep our head down, keep working, keep improving. What we can do in 10 schools, try to do it in 100 schools. What we can do in 100 schools, try to do it in 10,000 and then lakh and so on and so forth. There's absolutely no silver bullet for this. I wish I could say that Mindspark laga lo sab solve ho jayega. वो तो नहीं होने वाला है. I wish answer would be just let's get more teachers. It'll get solved. That will also not going to happen. So I think it's going to be a combination of different places. Only thing, because of the work we do with also private schools, my consideration and my submission to you is please demand the maximum from your private schools. Today, the affordable private schools are able to survive because they're just little bit better. So please keep demanding from private schools better. Automatically, government schools will have to do more catch up to it. I mean, the difference is so little that the pressure on the education system as a whole is not so much. So the more we make it work, all schools, it's like the tide will lift up all the boats. So we just need to make sure every school in India, whether private, whether affordable private or government school, improves its quality over a period of time.
I want to just very quickly, I want to add, not add, but I want to really pick that point which I really resonated. And another aha moment for me is when we talk about quality improvement and system transformation, we usually talking in the context of government schools. What Ritesh, very important point you brought out, that no matter which school the children are going, quality has to be the best, whether it's private, semi-private, whatever affordable aided school. Child is going to school and learning, that learning has to be really high quality. And I think asking that question and demanding that from the entire country and any school education system, I think is really important, and I am at least taking that back with me as one of the important points. Yes, ma'am.
I'll try to answer Mr. Narayan's this one. Actually, I started my journey during pandemic, and we used to teach on the roads. So all the private schools used to get closed, but our government schools used to teach on the roads, and we used to create WhatsApp group. We used to do online classes. I started YouTube classes, and around 1,800 online classes we had given during COVID. Once the pandemic was over, rather than saying demand, approach. So the community had approached me, and I have 11 schools, government schools. All the 11 schools were provided with the projectors, systems, printers, everything. And even now I am getting offers. Madam, you want this projector? With inbuilt classes. And moreover, digital classes are good, but still children lag behind bridge courses. I mean basic concepts. As we are started with FLN. Functional literacy and numeracy, and this is a part of the teachers' hard work. So we have started in the month, I think July or August, July. So the children were like around 30% or 40% they were during the baseline, and now it's end line. The children have reached 80%. Whatever digital or formal or informal, but the teacher hard work matters a lot. And now the children are in the 80% level, and the NGOs are too good. We know and we never demand, they approach us. by seeing our work. And more than private schools, government schools are getting a lot of admissions this year. And I have around 3,000 kids, but only 40 teachers in our cluster. And we have pure teaching and all cabinet leaders. And I never complained that I don't have teacher. Even I go and teach in a school. So this is our perspiration and our understanding how we can take about a school in a different way.
Thank you. Sir, would you like to add? And you have a thought.
Actually, for the question Narayan asked, public demand cannot be created. It has to be generated as such. Naturally, it has to come. We cannot create, and it can be artificial. It will not sustain. So parents needs to have that drive, so that we need to ask schools quality and all that. The one thing. Second one is regarding the question you raised previously. So we need to bring education to the academics to the forefront. Now what has become, our department administration has become to the forefront. Education has taken the back seat. So academics, we need to put the academics in the forefront, learning as such. But now what has happened, the learning in which the natural drive for learning is for fun, learning is for happiness. Children are natural learners as such. So this, even teachers are also, like Kavitha told. So she is learning new things because she gets happiness out of it. For example, if you are learning new things or new skills, you get happiness out of it. So that natural curiosity to learn, natural drive to learn, that needs to be actually rediscovered among teachers and among people who are working in the department, like compliance and commitment. So when we are working for compliance, it is just we are actually doing our work. When we are doing for commitment or for the drive, real drive, then the teacher will be teaching with that drive. He or she is learning and then teaching, and then it is a collaborative activity. In the same way, that teacher will be creating an atmosphere in the inner classroom. That learning is taking place in the classroom in such a way that collaborative learning. And also, another biggest challenge in our schools, what we are seeing is, we have actually making our children dependent learners. Child is looking towards teachers for learning. Ma'am, I want to take notes. Ma'am, you give notes. So this dependency in learning should not be there. We need to make children independent learners, independent, motivated learners. How can we do that? So if you see small children, when they are 1 year, 2 years, they learn naturally. Their urge for learning is very high. When they get into school, 6 years, 7 years, slowly their learning will be actually decreasing. That urge will be decreasing. When they come to 8, 10 years, when they are in 3rd standard or 4th standard, we can see the dull faces, that charm and then that enthu we are not seeing when they come to 5th standard or 4th standard. So where this has gone? Where this curiosity gone? Whether teacher is responsible or who is responsible? So all of us are responsible, including parents, department. So we made teachers like that. Teachers made students like that. So when we actually changing the situation in schools, then naturally quality learning is not a big thing actually. When the child is learning for the fun, when the child is learning for the happiness, that drive, natural instinct. So all of us are having that instinct. When we lose that instinct, we are become very dull, and that charm will not
bringing
be
the joy back to learning.
And
giving independence to
that should be continuous thing. Day by day, hour by hour, we should have that.
Love to hear your thought you had. And I also want to make connections. 3 people I'm making connection after your point. So, yes, go ahead.
My thinking, same thing. I think one solution, it's not for in all. So different challenges, it's there, different location, it's there, different geography. Based on little bit give to freedom to teachers. Then they identify what is the problem, it's there. Then how to give the solution for our childs. Like they understand. And one more thing, in milk formula, it's very good. Milk means motivation, influenced by the teacher, L for learning, and K for knowledge. Then automatically it's come in quality education. That's it. Thank you.
Like that milk formula. Yes. Um, so taking this, joy of learning and teaching in the classroom, also teaching, taking the ownership, transferring the ownership of learning to the students. And yesterday, I don't know how many of you are there for Sanjay Kumarji's talk. When he talked about, and exactly like Sir said, in the younger grade, there's a lot of curiosity, motivation. As they get older, you see that drop. And exactly same thing he said about, when you have your students graduate doing really well, post-graduation, yes, PhD, little bit because you have a guide, and once you're thrown beyond that, we are not able to see Nobel laureates, and we are not able to see, top class physics coming out from our country, because it's the same thing again, how do you give the ownership to the students? And this morning, when His Highness Yajuvir Sir, I don't know again how many of you are there, he said another very important point, and this is what I want to bring here as a system change, that these are the things in the classroom and these are the things in the system. But what he said was that he has a vote bank, right? And his vote bank is demanding something which then they will be able to put this in place. How do we get that vote bank really motivated, and how does that, go out in the community and not stay within the small circles like here? I just want to put that out there, that it has to be Shikshagraha at the at every corner, every community, every basti, every society, everywhere it has to be. How do we get that? I'm just thinking aloud. I don't have a specific question, but I'm thinking aloud for us to put that. Yes.
So, Chandrashekhar sir, what you said, absolutely right, that, the children are natural learners, and then as they grow, and what you mentioned about Sanjay Kumar sir mentioning, that the whole thing goes, the dependence starts coming. I think one of the things is it's also the way the education system happens, that, the way we assess, and then the rote learning part also that was referred about. I think what we are really missing out, this is just a thing, that the focus on the social skills, the life skills part, and life skills, what it means is really skills that are required to be successful in life. Now, any skill, if you develop it at the right impressionable age, will lead to the benefits. Just as you can't get Olympic champions, when you start coaching them at the age of 15 or 18 years, you've lost that thing. You have to start at 4 or 5 years age. It's the same thing about life skills. But I do not know why we do not focus on life skills as such an important thing, because ultimately that is what is going to lead them to be successful in life. And we also know that those who are academically great are not the ones who really succeed in life. Most often than not, the ones who succeed in life are the ones who have great social skills, the emotional skills. And that's the focus. So the more the children start developing the life skills, and by life skills what we mean, self-esteem, communication, confidence, teaming, discipline, initiatives, resilience, to learn right from the beginning, then even if I fail today, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow I'm going to do some things different and I'm going to win. So that gets embedded into the mind. Whereas if I fail in a subject, it's a big problem. Right? There is no second opportunity for me, or not often opportunities every day that I get, that if I fail, that I can pass again. So I think the part, and one last point I just wanted to submit was that we talk about the 21st century skills, and there immediately we jump to problem solving skills, and all those things. The real thing is that, you can't have problem solving skills unless and until the person is confident, unless the person is high on self-esteem, that the person thinks that I can do something different. You can't have problem-solving skills if I'm not a good listener, if I'm not a good communicator. So the problem-solving skills and the other skills are the higher order life skills. But they're based on foundational skills, which are these: self-esteem, communication, confidence, teaming, etc. And without really understanding, we keep talking about mixing the 21st century skills, the life skills, and then we say immediately jump to, so then everybody is doing the wrong solution, saying that, okay, now we must teach children how to solve problems without developing communication, confidence, self-esteem, resilience, discipline, responsibility, etc. And that's just I wanted some.
Thank you for bringing that. And I think I want to add one more thing. Not only we are focusing on the basic skills, we are not even testing them. We are, and you said you want to, highlight more, where we want these skills to go, be the lifelong learning and, successful. But what we're actually testing children is on basic FLN only. I mean, yes, reading, writing has to come, but if that's the only thing we keep testing them on, then when do we develop the other skills?
Actually, can I respond?
Yeah, please.
Actually, life skills cannot be taught. It can be acquired. So, yeah, experience. It cannot be taught as such. So, why children are not learning life skills means school as such, it is away from the life. Even though it is inside society, inside cities, inside villages and all, it is away from functioning, I am actually telling. Whatever the functions, processes happening in the schools, it's as such, it is very much away from the schools. Actually, we want to bring life skills artificially. It is not possible. So we have to weave it into our curriculum or our day-to-day teaching learning process. Few schools are doing it, efficiently doing it. So if many schools are not doing it, so if you are actually taking syllabus and curriculum and textbooks as a core thing, then we are actually doing away with the life skills. So when we are actually make the children to actually acquire these life skills, we need to create such an environment that our schools should have the true reflection of the situations which are outside the school. There is a competition is there, dirtiness is there, pollution is there, everything bad is in the society, but we are actually keeping the teachers away from it. We need to expose to that, and children should have that resilience and that resistance or that power to face those challenges in society. So how can we do that? It's a question.
So I think we are coming to a close with another question here. This is something we take, with us as a
quality aspects are larger questions. It is not simple solutions are not there.
I didn't even realize that we are at a 2-minute warning and we've already gotten twice, so we've already run out of time. I think starting from just looking at what access meant to us to looking at, what quality meant and how we went into different layers of quality, and then what is the current situation, what is our fact check, real check, also looking at what are the aspirations. We seem to have, if I put it in one word, we seem to have all the ingredients in place. There is something still missing, and if we are still walking, we are not walking away with, let's say, solutions, but certainly some thought-provoking questions and some ideas from all of them. I do want to end this and want to ask Siddhi, do you want to share anything more? What came to your mind when you listened to all of this?
Everybody one sentence, something like
yes,
that.
please. Yes, so one sentence, one statement that you want to close, and then we'll break for lunch. That works? Thank you. Yes, please.
One word or one sentence?
One word that comes to your mind after the conversation here.
I started, I will end.
Please. Okay, she wants to. All right.
She decides. Very good.
she decides, she ends it. क्वालिटी एजुकेशंस हमारी जिम्मेदारी है, ये मेरा है कि हम सब मिलकर कर सकते हैं. देयर इज़ होप्स, अच्छा होने वाला है, ये मेरा है कि उनकी पॉजिटिविटी मस्ट. सब कुछ खराब है, लेकिन एक किरण अच्छी हो तो सब अच्छा हो सकता है.
Hope, quality education, our responsibility. Thank you. Yes,
a lot of things is taught and learned in this session, but still I'm thinking, as sir said, life skills, how I can include in my cluster. That is great advice I can include. I just thought of now. And what next for the quality education? That is my next question in my cluster. I'll carry it on. Thank you.
Connect with children. Connect with the child.
I think quality education is super important as a nation building exercise itself. And I think we should just keep it at the center and focus of making sure we are able to mobilize funds, mobilize our action together to really make sure that the child learns and thrives in the future then.
So I think that there are many problems in our life, in schools and all these things, but we have to take our first step. Like in Marathi, we have a म्हण like thembe thembe tale sache. That means by little drops we get a big puddle. So like that, we have to start with a short start so that we can continue with a big end.